everyone, it's Joshua D. Faulkner. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome to this community. And today we're going to be covering my top 6 favorite romance films. I'm not huge into romance drama genre, but I have gotten quite a different amount of picks that is just substantial enough to release this. And there's some films as big as The Notebook, Crazy Rich Asians, or 51st Dates that I've never seen before. But so leave that recommendations down in the comments below, but I feel I have a pretty solid list so far. And of course, make sure to leave your list down in the comments below so we can join the community, be respectful of all these other comments and opinions on just the films we love. So, starting off, the first film we got here is Lalo, and I did not want to disclude this from the list, and the soundtrack is just a banger. The chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone is amazing. The acting and the colors, obviously, it seems like a period piece, but it's really just made to be just a magical experiences. The cinematography, and this really kind of got snubbed for Best Picture in 2016. It's not my favorite movie of that year, but it is highly fun. The soundtrack is just really good to listen to over and over, and it's your untraditional sort of love story that the ending just doesn't go as you expect. I'm not going to spoil any of these movies, but this is a highly recommended one if you have not watched it already. It's on Hulu, and I definitely recommend it, and it came out with this awesome new steelbook recently. Next up, we have Punch Drunk Love, and I just watched this right before. I rewatched this right before making this video, and this is highly enjoyable. It's chaotic, it's fast energy, and this is Adam Sandler at some of his best acting next to Uncut Gems. And if you don't really like Adam Sandler's comedies, you will definitely enjoy this one. There's a little bit of comedy, but it's a lot more just drama, and the route they go with it is quite interesting, and it's just all over the place. Again, in cinematography, it's like one of the only movies I've seen from Paul Thomas Anderson. It's just, but it's really enjoyable. The way they go through this crazy adventure where he's trying to find a love partner, and he has all these different quirky things, and then of course you'll want to watch this with pudding, and the people that have watched this will definitely understand what I mean with that. So it's just one of those films that brings out a certain food choice that you'll want to have while you watch it, and yes, I did have pudding. And next up, we have Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Now, this is quite a creative thing where there's Jim Carrey, of course, at one of his best, Kate Winslet, Kirsten Dunst, Mark Ruffalo, and Elijah Wood. So, pretty stacked cast, and this released in 2004, one of the best of the year for sure. And just the cinematography, once again, the love story is quite different, and that's what you'll notice about my list. There's some untraditional love stories, even if they have the direct romance right in there. It's just very different. It's quirky. The characters are fun. You really dive into the chemistry between these two actors, and just remembering all has where Jim Carrey is finding this lover, and he wasn't expected to do so, but just so happened on a whim that he took a train to another place instead of work. And just the formula that this goes along where they have them forget the memory of the one they fell in love with is just incredible what they pull off with it. And it has a few emotional tugs at your heartstrings throughout the film. And so if you haven't watched it, definitely recommend it. And that's my number 4. And coming in at number 3, we have a different untraditional pick that you might not categorize, but this is definitely a subgenre of the romance films that I'm including in this list just as a shout out, because this is an amazing period piece of Spartacus that's And I choose this as a romance film because Spartacus is very decision when they choose to go into the main plot of the story, and as their prisoners or slaves near a gladiator camp. And the reason he goes into this adventure freeing other slaves and other going out across the country to free these slaves is because of a romance he has with this one girl. And this is an older 1960 film by Stanley Kubrick, and it's definitely one of my favorite of his, and it's amazing throughout. It is quite a bit long. I believe it's stretching to 3 hours long, but I think if you like Braveheart, if you like some other Gladiator, then you may just like this. It's very different, but I do think all the set pieces, the costume, and everything else just makes this for an amazing film. And the romance, of course, it really does get emotional to where I did feel I had to include this just because it has enough of the romance, and romance plays an influential role within Kirk Douglas' character as Spartacus, that I felt it was good enough to really stand out as a romance film that I'm including in this list. And going on to number 2, we have a film that not many people have watched. It's a smaller company-made film, Ordinary Love, with Liam Neeson and Leslie Manville. I reviewed this a couple years ago on my channel. You can check it out right there. But it's really the simplicity of this film that really gets me. It's absolutely amazing. Just all the cinematography. I love the camera work, the colors, and just the chemistry. For whatever reason, it just clicks super well with me. And it's about this woman that has gotten breast cancer, and they lost their daughter recently, but the chemistry between them all makes the story work and all the framework. And there's like only one song or one soundtrack music that's played throughout the whole thing, or at different bits here and there, and the editing is just really great with that. And then the train sequence, that little key moment, also like added an extra touch that was really impactful for the meaning behind it. The themes are just really emotional, and I just highly enjoyed what this brought about, because it's not a huge action-filled film, but it does have just the right chemistry and balance of everything else of a natural storytelling that is an hour and a half, and it flows by pretty well for me. I know some people I recommended it to, it's just not their type, but if you can appreciate a slower film and love good cinematography, I definitely recommend this one, and it's high up on my favorites list as well. So this is Liam Neeson not in his traditional action film role. And then coming in at number 1 is another untraditional pick, but I felt it landed just like Spartacus. It landed right under that influential role of the girl meeting the guy, and that is Baby Driver. So this is about this guy that's going on different driving jobs, and because he's driving for these robbers and other things, and he goes on these different jobs with that, earning a ton of money for that, and just being super quick getaway. But it's just amazing. Like he's very silent throughout most of the film, but then he meets this one girl, and then it plays a big part in the romance and how it deals with the action involved, and very action-packed film, unlike Ordinary Love. But it's just the balance of everything. The soundtrack especially is absolutely amazing, and one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, probably. It just really drives this film, no pun intended, to just really get you an adrenaline rush. And then, of course, with the romance involved, speaking about that specifically, the chemistry works between these two. It's amazing. Ansel Elgort is fantastic in this role, and all the other roles are quite amazing, and is it's just really amazing just getting to talk about this film. And it's been a little bit since I've seen it, but the rewatches have even worked up to its advantage as well, to where it's still really holding up as a film. And Edgar Wright really stood out with what he delivered in this film, even as a romance and as an action film. So those are my top 6 picks of romance films, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about them in comments below, as well as continuing the discussion and giving me your favorite romance films, drama, or rom-coms, or just other untraditional films that you might feel fit under the untraditional role, just like Spartacus and Baby Driver. So let me know what you think of all this, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.